Welcome back to another YouTube video. If this is your first time coming across my channel, my name is Stef and I am the Psychic Soul Empowerment Coach. What I do is I work with men and women to help them to really embody more of who they authentically are on a soul level, on a higher self level. I also support them with really being able to reach their potential in life and fulfill their soul mission here, as well as really supporting them in understanding that they are powerful creators of their reality and they can make their wildest dreams come true. So I support my clients in being able to achieve these things via what is known as healing work or shadow work or inner child healing. And so that's how I support people. Here on my YouTube channel, the videos that I do are typically on the subjects of mindset, healing, manifestation, spiritual entrepreneurship, spiritual activism, my personal thoughts and experiences, whatever else I want to talk about, and energy readings. So if this content speaks to you and you enjoy today's video, I would really love for you to subscribe and hit the little bell notification button and change your settings to all so that you're always notified of when I upload new videos, okay? So today's video is all about the weekly energy reading for this upcoming week, April 3rd through April 9th. I typically try to get these videos up either on Sunday or Monday, depending on, how things go for me. If there is a delay for whatever reason, my apologies, but I do try to be here on Sundays and Mondays. And so I hope you get this on time. I'm filming this on Monday at 3:30 my time, basically, because that's when I finally was able to get around it because the energy has been crazy, y'all, and I'm really excited to get into the weekly energy reading and tell you how this has been affecting me. But before I get into that, I want to go through my announcements real quick. If you didn't know, I have timestamps here in the comment section of this video pinned to the top. Scroll past the parts that you just aren't interested in and go to the ones that you are interested in. But if you're interested in hearing my announcements, I would really love to just come and share that with you right now. So announcement number one is that last week we had a really amazing class with Maggie on accessing your inner leader. This is the follow-up video to the class that we did on high-level soul-aligned leadership. So if you have not yet seen that video, I'll put it up here in the cards for you to check that out. But accessing your inner leader was brilliant. Maggie did such a beautiful meditation to help people connect with their higher selves. And I'm really excited about publishing that video in a couple of days here on my channel. So be on the lookout for that. And then later in the week, I'm also going to be publishing a video that I did with Brittany Fontanez. Maybe you know her from the other videos that we did on reparenting your inner child, discovering your worth. Those will be up here in the playlist on titled like free resources, classes, etc. And we did just a fun conversation type of video and talked about discovering your joy or reclaiming your joy or something like that. I'll have the title officially like soon, but yeah, I'm going to publish that video later in the week as well. So if you feel like you've been disconnected from joy, it's hard for you to access joy and feel just more enjoyment overall in life, then that's a really great video for you to check out once it's published towards the end of the week, okay? Those are two of my announcements. Announcement number 3 is that if you have not yet purchased the 2022 yearly reading for this year, this is the month-by-month breakdown, go ahead and do so. It's 20% off at this time, and I would really, just encourage you to go ahead and purchase it because it is so spot on. Even Maggie recently was like, oh, you just were so spot on with the March stuff. Like, it was like right on point with everything you said. And I was like, really, I have to go back and re-listen, rewatch. But yes, it is super accurate information, just really letting you know, like, what the energy is bringing up for you, what you need to do about it so that the energy doesn't overwhelm you, keep you down, keep you confused, whatever it may be. And it's just a powerful guide to support you with your personal up-leveling. Even though this is a reading that is for a general group who are feeling pulled to receive this energy reading, the guidance will feel specific to you and your situation, and it will just make such a difference. So if you have not yet purchased it, it's 20% off because we've gone through the first quarter of the year. Go ahead and do so if you want to make the most out of the remaining 3 quarters of the year, okay? It's really, really powerful. All right, so that's what I have to say on that. I don't believe I have any more announcements. I just heard I do have one more announcement, but I don't know what that is. Oh yeah, I guess this might be the announcement. So I have some self-study courses that I'm going to be putting out there into the universe again. And these are courses around business and mindset and creating success online. If you've been feeling stuck, if you just have certain challenges. So I don't have it ready yet, but I am intended to get those things ready this week. So if you follow me on Instagram or if you follow me on TikTok, I'll more than likely announce it there whenever it's ready. So be on the lookout if you want to receive self-study courses from me in regards to business, in regards to mindset, in regards to personal development, entrepreneurship, those kinds of things, because I will have 2 to 3, maybe 4, who knows, things for you to check out. And, you know, they're going to be available at such an amazing price. And I would just really love for you to take advantage of that special offer. So I think that's it. Yeah. All right. So now we can get into the weekly energy reading for April 3rd through April 9th, 2022. First of all, it's crazy that we're already in April. Like insane. Time is flying. It is flying, and you have to be intentional and deliberate about what you're doing to make the most of time, right? So when I tuned in for this week, okay, I'm gonna be honest, it was a little bit difficult for me to get the information because I was like, what? And I think it's because my own personal stuff is like interfering. And I was like, come on, spirit, come through. But basically, this week is a week to face certain fears that have been long standing, if that's the appropriate word for it. They've been in our way in a sense, and we have to release those things that we're so deeply afraid of in order to propel ourselves forward. And so it's like these fears that have built up inside of us to the point where they've kind of become stagnant and we've just kind of been dragging them, and now it's the time to like let them go. I was getting the image of like popping a pimple. You know, it's like when the pimple is inflamed and it kind of gets bigger and it's all red and gross and you're like, and it's just like this stuff that's accumulated. Like that's kind of how it is internally, and we just have to like pop that pimple. We have to like release. We have to release the fears and move our asses forward, basically. And the thing is that, you know, the fears that we are currently being asked to let go of and move ourselves through, in a way they're there because we are holding on to ideas and perspectives that make it out to be worse than what it is. And so the example that I got that I've used in the past is at some point is of that of a child who is in bed and they're scared and they're kind of creeping out from under the covers because they see the shadow of like some kind of monster on their wall in their room or something at night, and they're like afraid it's a monster, but it's not actually a monster. It's just like the reflection of like a bunch of socks, and the way the light is hitting the socks or something, it like, you know, like projects the image of like this scary monster looking thing on the walls that scares the child. And so if the child were to not let that fear get the best of them and they just like got a flashlight or something and like went to wherever the reflection of the monster's coming from, they would be shown the truth and they would be like, oh, okay, I can go back to sleep or whatever, like nothing to be afraid of, you know? It's kind of like that. It's like there's nothing to be afraid of, but yet we are psyching ourselves out, and we've been holding on to this deep fear, this deep like negative way of perceiving things, or just this negative perception or fearful perception of things that has caused like just a major fear or insecurity or something inside of ourselves. But it's not true. It's just that that's what we've been believing. And it's time to finally like address that and be like, why do you believe this negative thing? Like, where is this really coming from? And to face it head on and release whatever you got to release around that in order to finally set yourselves free. Because they were really clear on that at the end. They said, like, at the end of the day, like, you're holding on to these stories. Like, you're choosing to perceive it in this way. And if you could just like let go of perceiving it in this light, you would feel so much better and allow yourself to move on with so much more ease and grace and just like no resistance or much less resistance, you know? But we're the ones holding on to these stories, so we have to be willing to change how we're perceiving these things in order to drop that fear, in order to free ourselves from that terror that we feel around certain things, and to move on. And this is going to be specifically towards or in regards to your desires. So hopefully you watched my April 2022 energy reading that's here on YouTube. I'll put it up here in the cards if you haven't yet already. It's totally different from my paid energy reading, okay? But I talked about like April having the potential of having amazing manifestations come forward and just doing really big things, you know, in April. And the thing is that even though you may have gotten clarity on what you want to manifest in April, you were probably unconsciously low-key afraid of those things, of manifesting those things, of receiving those things, of being able to achieve those things. Like there is some kind of fear around that, and these are probably things that you've been wanting to manifest for quite some time or that are really important to you. And so you have to, you know, this week really address the fears concerning these desires and recognize that you've been telling yourself a certain story around them for so long, that you've been having a negative, limited perception of things, and that it's been psyching you out and impacting your ability to align with these things. And you have to be willing to just do the inner work to like let go of fears of failure, let go of fears of being disappointed, or let go of whatever fears are coming up for you in order to, move yourself forward and right off into the sunset. Do you hear the sirens? That is the message that I got for this week's weekly energy reading. I'm going to pull some cards now to see if we get any additional messages. What do the people need to know this week for their highest good in regards to the weekly energy reading? Okay, so I got 2 cards. Move your body. And Saint Germain. And this one says karma releasing. And it says, move beyond drama, create your own path, make room for good energy. This one doesn't really say a whole lot. It just says, thank you, angels, for motivating me to move my body and energy. Okay, so, like I said, these fears that we need to move ourselves through this week are karmic patterns that we've been on. Like, this is why achieving or attaining some of these things that we are intending to in April have been a struggle, because we've been on a karmic loop with them. For whatever reason, there's some kind of fear there that has kept us from really being able to align with these things. And so it's up to us, though, this week to like move beyond the drama, to decide like I'm not going to allow this story to continue to impact my life and the reality that I get to experience. And I'm going to deal with whatever this fear is and sit with that and feel it and transcend it and change my perspective around it, because I'm ready to move beyond this drama and I'm ready to move down another path. You know, I'm creating my own path. I'm the creator of my reality. And so I'm going to release this fear to make room for this good energy that I want to experience, right? So this is the message that I'm getting from this. And part of releasing these fears is not just doing the internal work around it, but it's going to require people on some level to take action, to do something, take forward action, you know, use their physical vessels to do things and get it done, you know. So like, for example, if you've been wanting to, I don't know, like speak publicly or something like that, and that's been a dream of yours, and like this month you have a speaking opportunity at last, but you feel all this fear around it. You're getting anxious. Like, you need to do the inner work, see what those fears are around public speaking, process them. I actually have a course. One of the courses that I'm mentioning about being a self-study course is actually around visibility. So look out for that. But yeah, if you are afraid of public speaking and it's held you back in the past from so many opportunities, etc., like, you need to deal with that fear, and then you need to move forward and take action of some kind to continue to move yourself through that fear, or to like overcome that fear, or a combination of these things, right? So if you have a speaking gig towards the end of the month, but you notice all this stuff coming up for you now, then you do the inner work to release that fear, and then you see how you can move yourself forward to continue to move yourself through that fear, that story, of like, oh, I'm not a good public speaker, or I'm afraid to talk in public, or whatever it is. And so something that you can do in terms of action taking is like beginning to practice with a group of friends and being like, hey, or family, or whatever, whoever you feel comfortable with, and just doing a mini presentation of what you're going to do at the end of the month, and taking that forward action to like calm your nervous system down, like calm your body down, and really assert that you are now the version of you that isn't afraid of like showing up in life in this way and doing these things. And you might still be nervous in that moment, but you're gonna, by taking action, like, it's like what's that, exposure therapy or something, where like they expose you to the thing that you're afraid of so that you gradually lose the fear. It's kind of like that. Like, you just lose it, and you realize like, oh, it's not so bad, like I got through it, I didn't die. And then you can take whatever action steps you might need to continue to prepare yourself for that, so that you can show up much more confidently and as a version of yourself that is able to, have these talks and be a public speaker and present, etc., right? So yeah, this is what the card says. I'm going to go ahead and read to you what Saint Germain says. And Saint Germain says, he's a master alchemist and helps us turn whatever is leaden in our life into something that is golden. And he says, karma is the spiritual law of cause and effect. We experience many levels of karma. Some we inherit from our family, and some from the people we keep helping out of the same problems that they keep creating. Saint Germain is now here to clear your energy so that you no longer have the weight of the world or your loved ones on your shoulders. Be aware that an old pattern is leaving your life, and create space for something more loving to enter. Visualize yourself surrounded by a fiery violet cloak to release all the karma you no longer need. And so, yeah, it just further confirms, like, we are here to release some stuff this week, stuff that we have to let go of, that's been around for some time, but it's time to go, and it's time to see truth, like, it's a violet color, crown chakra. It's connecting to the truth of all that is, and really being able to see, that, like, can you see that? That, like, our fears aren't scary, but we make them scarier than they are. Like, we're doing this, and we have to decide, like, it's time to move beyond that, and open ourselves up to the truth of what is. And let me see if I want to read anything from this other card. I don't think so. Well, okay, listen. Move your body. So the angels are encouraging you to get moving. It's time to get motivated and energized. You may feel stagnant or held back at this time, but the only person who can get between you and your goals is you. Take steps towards anything that you've been putting off, as this will get your energy moving, and you'll be more open and receptive to new and exciting experiences. See? So it's time for you to take those action steps and move forward. And there's an additional message in case some of you need it. You may feel stagnant, but that's okay, because now's the time when things are beginning to move again. Distance yourself from the energies that are standing in your way, right? And make space for the thrilling opportunities that are being offered to you. If you've been putting off an exciting venture for some time, you're being encouraged to go for it now. Your angels are the wings on your back, and they want you to spread them now. So both cards just basically confirming the message this week that it's time to, like, move forward with things. We got to shift out of the stagnant energy. We got to take those action steps. It's not just the internal work, it's the actual physical work. And so that's it for this week's weekly energy reading. And my personal share around this is, if you've been watching my energy readings recently, then you know that I have been mentioning my experiences with dating. And let me tell you, dating has been bringing up so much inner work for me. Like, it's crazy. And even just now, before doing this energy reading, I was channeling with my guides in regards to the person that I am currently communicating with. And something that's been like triggering me recently. And what they basically told me and called me out on my stuff was, they said that I am afraid of being in love and like being loved, because in my experiences in life, I have developed this belief that love equates to pain, and I am deeply afraid of experiencing pain, especially because I'm super like emotional, sensitive, empathic. Like, pain feels so much worse to me than maybe other people, because I'm just like deeply emotional. Like, I look, hard and strong and whatever on the outside, and I am to a certain extent, but I'm soft and squishy on the inside. And when it comes to matters of the heart, and that kind of stuff, like, I have to expose these vulnerable parts of myself. And there's this like intense fear around, holy crap, like, what if you hurt me? What if this doesn't end well? And there's like all this major fear around pain. I swear to God, while I was channeling this with my guides and they were telling me this, I started crying. I was just crying, writing it out. That's so ridiculous. But it was a good release. And they helped me see things a little bit differently, even in just that activity of just showing me, like, you have to stop thinking that love means pain. Because maybe those of you who have purchased my Mindset Reboot course, I think this is one of the courses that I'm going to offer as a self-study as well. Look out for that, because that course is like amazing. But yeah, I talk about in that course how, like, we're physiologically programmed to look out for negative things, look out for danger, etc. And our minds typically pay attention to more of the bad things than the good things in our lives. And so my guides are basically saying, like, there are lots of people that have loved me like I've wanted, or I'm getting love the way that I want from lots of people today, but I don't notice that because I have been focused unintentionally on the people that love me wrong, the people that hurt me. And my mind now has this crazy wonky definition of love is pain. We don't want to potentially go there, even though on a soul level, I want love. I want my soulmate. But low-key, like, this other part of me, subconscious part of me, ego, inner child, is like, no, this is bad because we have all these experiences, right? And that's been my karmic loop, is like, I want love, but, I can't because I'm afraid. And so it's time for me to work through that and to let it go and to face all the fears I have inside of me around not being loved the way that I want, being abandoned potentially, what other stuff? Like, just being heartbroken, like, whatever, related to love, and really feeling those things and releasing them and letting them go, so that I can, by feeling them and experiencing them, facing them head on, I can really kind of make that scary monster in my room seem not so scary and be like, oh, that wasn't so bad, because in my mind, I think it's the worst thing ever. Subconsciously, I'm like, this is so scary, painful, I don't want to feel it, I don't want to go there. But then once you really feel it and you just like release it, you're like, that wasn't so bad. Like, okay, I didn't die. I'm here, you know? And it's okay. Like, it's okay. And on top of that, you know, beginning to shift my beliefs around love and seeing that even though love can sometimes bring pain, there's also so much beauty in love, and to start focusing on that instead, because again, my mind has been focused on the negatives, right? Because we're programmed to notice the negatives more than the positives. And so I've been noticing pain and heartbreak and letdowns and all of that more than anything else. And it's time for me to shift on over to some other railroad tracks and be like, no, but it's beautiful. There's so much goodness that can come from love, even if there's some pain sometimes. Like, there's all these good things, and to start moving myself in that direction, right? And that's how I will shift out of the stagnant energy of just intense fear that's been accumulated inside of me, and to move myself in this direction and propel myself forward in the direction I want to go in. So that is my personal share of how I'm experiencing this energy right now. It's crazy. Like, you would not have believed I was crying like an hour ago. Maybe like an hour and a half ago, but whatever. But it's good, you know, like, it's freeing, and I'm growing up. So that's basically it. I really hope that this reading has helped you today. If it has, please give this video a thumbs up here on YouTube. Let me know in the comments below how this message resonated with you today. And again, if you have not yet subscribed, go ahead and do so. And I think that's it. Thank you so much for your time. Be on the lookout for those courses when they come up. I'll be talking about them in my next energy reading and on my other social medias. All right, take care. Bye.